before you get your reaction. Do this 7 minutes a day until the end of September. We start on Monday, August 18th. In a week, you'll feel better. In 2 weeks, you'll look better. In a month, your wife won't believe your results. Here's a personalized plan of short chair workouts tailored for beginners over 50. It's just 7 minutes a day, beginner-friendly, and requires no equipment. You can work out anytime, anywhere. Just scan the QR code and follow along.
Oh shit, I've been streaming and didn't even know. I don't remember hitting the start button. Oh my goodness. Wonder where my brother is. I know where he ain't. He ain't playing Doom. Because I was playing Doom. It's a provocative act, these people. Yes, of course, the cops are the ones that are causing all the problems. Tell you what, I don't even know what to think. Actually, that's a lie. I know what to think. It's just, I'm like, don't want to even say anything, you know? It's like, I am painting up what would have been in a normal game, I guess, a Fremen warrior with a rifle. And but because I play in the setting where the Fremen were all exterminated by the Sardaukar, I've been painting some of my Fremen up to look more like bandits, like sandflies and things like that. And we got Doc. Yeah. Actually waited this long to start specifically so that people who can't catch me earlier might be able to drop in. I got a lot of stuff to do today too. But I am nothing if not a creature of habit. What the hell is going on here? Zelensky will not, in my opinion, agree on a peace deal. Forget it. It's not going to happen. It's a pipe dream. It's nice that, you know, somebody wants it to happen, but it's not going to happen. Sorry. Because, I mean, the guy's already said that he will accept no peace that doesn't involve getting Crimea back and all that, right? The Russians are never going to give Crimea back. That is never going to happen. Just put a little symbol on his back. So, and what's so weird is there's so many people in America that are pro Crimea that don't even, or pro Ukraine. They don't even know where Ukraine is. It's like someone said, Ukraine's the good guys. That's the ones you should be voting for. And everybody ran out and decided that's what they're going to do. You know, it's very frustrating sometimes to talk to people about this, you know, because my brother-in-law is a hippie. I mean, I love him to death, but he is a damn hippie. And he is convinced that the Russians are losing millions of troops every week and that Ukraine is guaranteed to win. And it's only a matter of time. And now, this is a guy who literally went to Russia and married a Russian woman. And I wonder if that has something to do with his wanting the Russians to lose the war. He's like mad about the fact that he married a Russian woman, maybe. So he's like, fuck those Russians, you know? I don't know. Are you listening in to me, baby? No. Oh, because you keep pausing the TV. I'm just wondering.
Why are you talking about me?
I'm not talking about you, baby. And if I was, it'd all be good stuff. You can count on it.
Hey, how goes James?
Good. But yeah, we brought it up on the ride back from Alabama or wherever the hell we were. It got brought up, and he was all like, the Ukrainians are kicking the Russians' asses. They've killed millions of blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, have you seen a map of Ukraine? And he's like, you know, looking at me like, and it's like, how can you say a side is winning when they've lost a third of their country and continue to lose land every day? But you think they're the winners? I mean, you know, I'm only a lowly freaking E4 Mafia guy, but I do understand that losing all of your territory is not how you win wars.
It is non-traditional, yes.
It is not a traditional tactic, you know. Like, we're going to lose all of the whole country and then we win. It's like, okay. Interesting.
Although, in fairness, the Russians themselves did occasionally do the old walk back and wait for General Winter, but I don't think the Ukrainians are really in a position to do that.
No.
And it probably wouldn't work on the Russians if you did.
Yeah, they're pretty much friends with Father Winter. Their main thing is they don't want him to kill their horse. That's like a big thing. So when you hear him singing, Oy Moroz, Moroz, Oy Moroz, Menya, Oy, nope, something Parabo Kunya. And what that's Father Frost, don't freeze me or my horse.
They got to look out for the horse.
Yeah. Well, you figure if it's one of the guys that lived on the steppe area, you know. Well, actually, any part back then, you'd need a horse to pull lumber or whatever. But so we were talking about your game yesterday. I don't guess you were here.
Oh, yeah, I worked late yesterday. I've been
Shadows,
working late a lot.
Oh, we had everybody on. Poor Bear was letting us all know how he feels about it being 100 and whatever degrees in Montreal, which is hilarious because right here now in Florida, it's like 90 something. So it's actually hotter in Canada than it is.
Although I don't know if the last couple of weeks were pretty brutal up here.
Yeah. I
But
think
it's been on and off.
I think if you live by the coast, it might be better because you get
Yeah.
that breeze. So Shadow wants to know if you're ready for Thursday, which makes me wonder, what, are you guys shooting a movie?
Oh, I think we're doing the part 2 of the we're covering the Magic book on Thursday.
Oh, nice. Because Shadow likes to make films, right?
Yeah.
So, just be careful. If he offers you a drink,
Well, he'd have to
50-50.
mail it to me.
50-50. It could go either way. But regardless of that, we were talking about it, and somebody's like, well, why haven't you done a review yet? And I'm like, because
It's a big book.
it's hard to read for me anyway. Because I've gotten, like when I was young, I was a reader. But as I've gotten older, I've read less and less books. To now, it's kind of hard,
Yeah, I've relied more on audiobooks the last couple of years just because the eyes.
Right. And 2, the first book, the one that's like super like realistic or whatever, is as big as an old phone book. I know there's probably people who would watch this that don't even know what phone book is.
Yeah.
It was a mythical thing that they dumped off on your front porch once a year. That was like that big. And then I did, though, do a quick skim through of the fantasy part too, and I liked. My favorite part of that is how you put in fantastical creatures, but you kept it within the bounds.
Yeah, I wanted it
of the era.
Yeah, I wanted it to feel grounded
instead of just copying Tolkien like we all otherwise do. That's one thing I love about Baptism of Fire is all the monsters in there are actually Slavic, from Slavic myths. So, you're not just fighting goblins every day. I mean, you can, but they're called Licho, and their wounds don't heal when they wound you unless you find, a priest or something. So you don't want to fight them because eventually over time they will wear you out.
I was considering for a while going strictly with like actual like a medieval bestiary, but researching into it, it's they're a little silly, the medieval monsters. So I kind of want to like a compromise between the two. Hey, Hungar!
Did you put in the rabbit folk?
What is up,
There
everybody?
are no rabbits. Although I very seriously considered putting the killer rabbit.
The French and the British, for some reason, were terrified of them.
Brother.
It's like they were always doing murals of rabbit people cutting people's heads off with axes and swords and shit like that.
Hey, bro, you need to brush your hair.
I need to brush my hair?
Yeah, you need to brush your hair, fool.
No.
You got antenna sticking up. It's excited, waving at everybody.
I brushed it earlier. You're just jealous because you ain't got any hair.
I got hair. I've grown my hair out long. I've grown my hair out long enough where I can do a comb over.
Yeah, on your back. That's where your hair is.
I ain't got a hairy back, fool.
Meanwhile, I've got this thick, glorious head of hair, and I'm older than you.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
There's so many other reasons to hate you. You're being beautiful ain't one of them. I'd choose.
A lot of haters. See, look at all this hair.
Are you at home?
Yeah.
Why are you laying in your bed?
I was chilling out, relaxing, watching Shadowrun while I'm getting up every 15 minutes to check the smoker.
Ah.
Greg bought me a badass freaking smoker.
That's nice of him.
Yeah, next to my Bluetooth on my phone and everything. I've got ribs on right now, smoking at 225.
How long does that take? That's like become this huge thing. Everybody's like smoking meat now.
It'll take
4 hours or more.
I'm doing them at lower temperature, so it'll take about 6 hours. Yeah. But
So anyway, we were talking about the game that, well, I guess he's gone. Doc wrote, and so Shadow and you were talking about it, huh?
Yeah, we did a brief cover of the first book about 2 weeks ago now, and it's about ready. I think he said this week. I think for the second one. Yeah, the supplement is actually bigger than the main rules.
Yeah, the fantasy
But
one, yeah.
spells and creatures
Well,
take
I
up a lot
mean,
of
you
room.
know, Shadow's a quick reader, I think, compared to me. Like I said, I used to be good at reading, but now, like, there's parts of the Dune core book I'm sure I have not read.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. I'm probably not interested in the game system, but does it have a goodly amount of background information?
Yes,
Yeah, because I'm not a huge fan of. What is it? Modifius is putting that out.
it's 2 die 20, so
Yeah.
like Conan.
Yeah, I'm not a big 2 die 20 guy.
I don't understand why anyone cares about it, because it's like, I guess understand's not the right word, but it's like basically the game works such. You determine the target
Excuse
number.
me.
You roll 2 to 5 die 20, depending on circumstances. And every die that comes up under the target number is a success. You need between 1 and 5 successes to do a thing. That's it. That's the whole game. So it's like, okay, you're playing Traveler. You roll 2 die 6, add skills and maybe attributes if somehow you rolled a 10 or higher or 9 or higher, and you try to be Nate. Okay. You see what I mean? It's like, I guess what I'm saying, Doc, is I just don't get hung up on systems so much. As long as they work and they're not like in your face, you know?
Yeah.
Like all the time effing with you. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the token part of the game.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest objections.
My players love it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It
Well,
just feels
if
very
any
board game.
player's trying to do anything and they roll a natural 1, they automatically get a momentum, which I use the blue and red gemstone looking things from the Conan box set. You know, the Conan board game that Monolith put out. So the blue ones are, of course, momentum, and the red ones are threat. And so if you roll a critical success, you get a momentum. And that could be important in the future, because then, you know, there might be a really hard thing you need to do. So you throw a threat in, but you burn the momentum, and now you're rolling 4 die 20 versus your target number, which means you're probably going to get done what you need to get done, hopefully. What about the doom and momentum rolls? See, that's what he's saying. I don't. Yeah, my players like it, but then again, I keep it like a kind of a shallow brass bowl on the center table, and every time something happens, I just throw one in. So it looks like since I'm using the ones from Monolith, they look like crystals, red or blue. And as far as threat, it's like it's pretty established what you can use threat for. It's not like the ref can just go buck wild and do anything with it. Like for one threat, you can make an enemy go before the players who are always assumed to win initiative, or you can have an enemy roll an additional die. And when you get up to like 5 threat, you can like add additional enemies to a battle. You know, so the players have to be aware of that.
Yeah, that's what I object to. As the game master, I feel I should be able to do any nasty thing I want at any time, and I don't need anyone's permission.
Well, as the game master, you can. I'm just going by what they suggest. But yeah, so an example could be if the players have been really taking advantage of the threat mechanic because they want to roll lots of dice, and you end up with like 5 threat, they could be in the battle with some bandits, and you can just cash all 5 threat in and throw another 3 bandits on the table. And now all of a sudden it's like we're outnumbered, you know, and they got to deal with it. And that's the whole thing. Now, it's so weird because in Conan, We played Conan multiple times, and not a motherfucker ever used a threat or an anything. It didn't happen in any game. It's like I'd even tell the players, if you take a it's not called threat in that game. If you take a whatever, you can roll an extra die. They'd be like, nah, F that. You know what I mean? They just weren't having it, just refused. But in the Dune game, oh yeah. Oh, I need 3 successes for this shit. Here, have a crystal. I'm rolling extra dice. But I think the difference is they didn't feel like their character was as close to death in Conan as they do in Dune. Just because it's like, the way the hit point system works is if you want to kill a character, it's basically an extended test, which means what? You're going to take turns doing tests, right? And for every success above what you need to succeed, it counts as an additional wound. And if you do more damage than their battle stat, they die. The highest a character can start with the battle stat is 8. So if somebody with a dagger stabs you and they roll really good, you could just be dead. Of course, if you have a personal shield on, that adds to the difficulty they have to roll against. You see?
Oh yeah, how do they handle the whole shield thing? I'm curious about that.
If
Is
you're
it just a
dueling,
modifier, or
yes, it's a negative modifier to your opponent. If they're trying to now, if they have the ability to slow blade, which a couple of the guys at my table do, they can ignore your shield because they have the skill slow blade. They have trained to fight shields, right? But like most guns and stuff, well, lasers, no one's firing at a shielded guy, but like Mala pistols and things like that, they get such a high penalty to hit you because of your shield. It's just like, you might as well not even. But if you do have a shield, one thing you got to watch out for sure is drill shot guns.
I'm back.
Yeah,
The only good thing about the drill shotgun is it has a very small ammo capacity, generally 2, and then it has to be reloaded. But if they hit you, the drill shot, instead of deflecting off the shield, it actually sticks to it and starts drilling its way through.
Yeah, they got that from the Lynch movie, which is a cool thing. I would definitely include that.
You can, if your character's quick enough, try to make an incredibly difficult check, like 4 successes to do.
To like get rid of it.
You can try to make a defensive thing to like move aside and pull it off of you, and therefore not get hit by the thing, But if you don't make that check, it goes through the shield, and now you just tuck a 12 gauge dart right to the freaking wherever, and it's going to do a shit ton of damage, And also, guys with drill shots, when they're rolling for successes, ignore the fact that you got a shield, which is the big thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like a guy with like a standard dart thrower, whether it's a Mala pistol or an assault rifle or any of that, the penalty to hit somebody with a personal shield is so high. It's like, like in the computer game, if somebody jumps up with an assault rifle and starts shooting at your character and you've got a shield, you can probably run the 30 feet between you to them and stab them in the head before you got to worry about it.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
You know what I mean? Because they're firing light darts, and your shield, as long as the power pack is up, the shield's just bouncing that shit right off. And then you run up with whatever kind of dagger you use, and you just stab them in the face.
You know what happened to me yesterday, bro?
And one more thing, because Doc didn't know this about shields. Shields, when you fire a weapon, turn off.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, you can't fire a weapon through a shield. Like you personally can't, right?
Hey.
So that means, that means if you're wearing a personal shield, but you got an automatic weapon, and you start sending a burst out downrange, for that period of time, your shield is off.
Rollmaster had a system where there was because they used shields in that too, the Space Master. They had there was an attachment you could put on a gun where the end of the barrel would extend past the shield.
They should have called that game Math Master.
Yeah, Rolemaster is a bit. I actually got into it. Yeah, I modified the crap out of Rolemaster. That's one of the reasons I got into it.
I'm not even complaining
Game
about
design.
Rollmaster, which some people call Chartmaster. I've mastered Rollmaster. Hungar has played in multiple games using the Rollmaster system that I ran, no problems.
No problem.
Space Master, on the other hand, when you get to the design rules for ships and weapons and shit, and it starts using equations with like letters from the alphabet and symbols I don't understand. Like I'm like, I just have a high school degree. I don't even know what that symbol means. You know, I found out later it means like square. Because anytime you're designing a starship, you're designing like the map, not the mass so much as displacement. So everything you do, you've got to figure out how many square, whatever it takes.
Yeah, Traveler handled that better.
Traveler handled it way better with squares, and each square equals 1 ton displacement based on the weight of hydrogen, I think. Which means a cube of displacement in Traveler is basically a meter by meter by meter.
Yeah.
Just give me a cool spaceship design. I want to make it look cool.
Well, you can
figure out the logistics first, later.
Now, like I said the other day, and I did finish painting them, but I need to do their bases and stuff. The game that I think had the coolest spaceships really was probably Star Frontiers.
Star Frontiers had really good ships,
especially those slick ass Sathar ships.
Yeah, I just never got into sci-fi games.
Yeah, I only played. I played a module in Star Frontiers. I can't remember what it was called.
If it was Crash on Volturnus,
I think that was one where you're going like from group to group and doing some stupid trick, and you got to play some sport with the monkey guys.
Yep.
And there's a primitive version of every like space race on this one planet for some.
Yeah, there were like the intelligent land-dwelling octopi, and you had to play like frickin' polo with them.
Yeah, I wasn't terribly enamored of the game, so it never really took off.
Star Frontiers aficionados all will say that Crash on Volturnus is the worst module they ever made for that game. And yet, for some reason, it's the one that they packaged with the game.
Nah.
And it's like everyone hated it.
Played that.
You would have been better off taking the free adventure, crashed on whatever, from the actual box set and just playing that. The one where your ship crashed and you guys ejected and the pirates are looking for you and you're trying to get to a way out, and that one's much better, The characters start with limited resources because, you were on like a luxury liner and it got taken out. So you jumped into the freaking escape pod, and all you have is under each seat of the escape pod is like a survival kit. And it's very minimalist. So your characters not only got to worry about the pirates who are patrolling around the planet with helicopters looking for you. The animals on the planet that want you dead, and the fact that you've got a limited amount of food, water. The only weapons you got are like these little survival rifles, like a 22 semi-automatic, And it's actually a great adventure. It reminds me of the Traveler Adventure Marooned.
Oh, I played that one. That was a good. There were some really good Traveler adventures.
That was the thing with old Traveler. Old school Traveler had great adventures.
Yeah, you used to get the books that had two. They were printed like up and down from each other.
The double adventure.
From either side of the book. I got a bunch of those somewhere.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of those laying around, because with Marooned, on one side it was Marooned, and on the other side it was Marooned Alone. And that was it was just the GM and one player. And that one player represented the guy that had to go shut down the gun. So when the rest of the group ejected, he had to eject with a different escape pod, and he ended up landing very far away. So you do the adventure one-on-one. Very, very cool adventure. Yeah, I have every one. When Far Future Enterprises put out the big books, the black, yellow, green, red, what I bought them all. That would be, of course, 20 plus years ago. Yeah, at least 20 plus years ago. I was still hanging out with Marcus and playing DAOC. My favorite adventure from Traveler, though, is Twilight's Peak.
I know that one. I can't play. What happened in that? I know I played it. I remember the title.
In Twilight's Peak, you go to this world from Malta or something, and I don't care if I'm spoiling it because the adventure's 30 years old.
Yeah.
You find out that this Imperial planet's been infiltrated by Zodani, and they're trying to stop you. And then you go into the mountains and you find an old tower. And if you do everything right, you find what's under the tower, which is an ancient base. And if you figure everything out, you can use the ancient superpowered weapon to wipe out the Zodani fleet in orbit. Of course, you will wake up the ancients. But if you don't attack them or anything, they just look at you and then they like set the base on self-destruct.
Okay, yeah, I remember them. The
And,
crazy bug dudes.
It's like Hell's Reach when they go to wake up Oberon to use him against the orcs.
Right. So all the ancients allow themselves to be completely disintegrated because that's how they destroy the base, like some kind of disintegration bomb. But yeah, that was a good one. And it also had this, it looked like a spider, but it was a mammal and it was furry and it would attack you. But if you didn't kill it or killed it, you'd find out it was protecting its pups. So your characters could grab the pups. And then from there on, your characters are traveling around on your starship with these furry spider dogs because they kind of look like a cat in the face a little bit, you know what I mean? But it was a furry 8-legged thing.
So it's a spider pup.
Yeah, it's like a spider cat or a spider pup.
Speaking of furry, did you hear about the guy in the furry suit who tried to integrate himself in Wyoming with the pack of wolves?
I'm going to think he probably got ate up.
Yeah, the game warden said that it was the fastest somebody's ever seen somebody, the fastest he's ever seen somebody regret their life choices. Because those wolves tore him up. When they asked him while he was in the hospital if he was going to go back, he said, no, you don't think that the wolves were open to his role play ideas.
Yeah, imagine.
The guy was from Colorado, of course.
Well, you know, there's always those hippies that you run into. They're like, wolves have never actually killed anyone, blah, blah. You know, they love wolves. And I understand wolves are cool. They're, you know, but the reality is a wolf will eat you.
Yeah.
If he's hungry and you're out there and there's nothing else hanging about, guess who's getting ate?
Also,
You.
if you're in a furry suit playing Bluetooth music of wolves howling, tossing hamburger at the wolves as you approach them, chances are they're going to bite your ass.
That is as dumb as that idiot that took his girlfriend out to get ate by a grizzly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he had slowly ingratiated himself with a group of bears, and they were tolerating him. And it turned out they had been displaced by another like group of bears when they showed up there, and they're like, "Oh, who is this guy? We'll call him Lunch."
Yeah. Like a homeboy from Casual Geographic says, if it's brown, lay down. If it's white, go to the light. And if it's black, fight back.
Fight back.
And that is the basic woodsman's wisdom for bears.
How I do with the bears, I climb up a tree and do an atomic elbow drop. I may die, but I die heroically.
You might die, but people are going to talk about that shit for like 100 years.
Oh yeah.
There's this guy, he did an atomic elbow drop on a grizzly. I mean, the bear. Actually, you might survive. The bear might be so confused about what happened. It might just be like, yeah, I'm going to get out of here. This guy's crazy. You know, I don't need any of this, honestly. I think I'll wander on, you know. But, I mean, I've been fishing and there's bears. Hungar can tell you about it. the bears will be right down the way from you. And here's the thing with like a grizz, big brown bear. If he's not hungry, you're okay.
Yeah.
If she's not hungry but has babies, you're fucked. Don't go near her because she'll straight up jack you up. In Alaska, you're more likely to get taken off the list by moose than a bear. Moose are just like on site.
Yeah,
you know
bear,
what I mean?
bear attacks do happen. Moose
Oh, they
attacks
do.
happen a lot.
But people getting stomped out by a mama moose for no good reason, shit. Like once a year, at least. My Uncle Lynn had a moose go into his garage because he accidentally left the garage door open, get trapped between the garage wall and his car, freak out, destroy his whole garage, and F up his truck like big time. He comes out with a rifle and shoots a damn moose. And then Alaska Game Service gives him a $500 fine and takes the moose to give to the local natives. That's moose.
Yeah. And it wasn't even
The
a
other
big
thing with moose is they like eating rotten apples because when the apples fall on the ground and rot, they ferment. So you'll get a big ass male moose that's like over a ton or some shit, and it'll eat a bunch of these fermented apples and get drunk. And they've had to call like the fire service and shit in to try and untangle them from trees and shit. I don't know if the moose was trying to climb a tree or what he was trying to do, but
They used to come and eat out of our flower beds, which would freak a person out. And we lived in the city.
Yeah, because Haas, man, unless you've seen one in real life, you do not know.
I've been chased by them. I've been chased by them in real life. I've seen them.
I remember on the way to school. You're on the way to school, and that moose chased you down the sidewalk. And it's a run for your life situation, guys.
Yeah, and you don't realize how seeing them on like a picture or a TV does not give them justice on how big those bastards are.
That's why I was going to say they look goofy when you see them on TV. They look like they're the autistic deer of the world. No. And the other thing about moose is as big as they are, you can be like down at the river fishing. One of those bastards will walk up behind you. You won't hear it. They have no right being as quiet as they are for as big as they are.
Yeah, they're scary.
Yeah. And I mean, once one of them starts stomping you, I mean, like I said, those things weigh 1,000 pounds at least, some of them.
Easy.
Yeah, easy. My favorite thing is British Columbia, the moose that were swimming trying to eat kelp in the bay. And then the freaking Oreo Avengers found out about it and started eating moose.
Yeah, but the thing is,
eventually the moose were like, I'm sick and tired of being eaten by this black and white dolphin. So I'm just going to stay on land.
Yeah, but that's one thing people don't realize. Also, moose get a lot of their food from the bottom of lakes and stuff. They swim down and eat the vegetation.
Well, they're practically, what would you call it, amphibious?
Yeah.
They spend a shit ton of time wading through swamps and stuff.
Well, Alaska, tundra is just swamp that freezes.
Yeah, Alaska's a lot of swamp. People always talk about giant mosquitoes in Florida, and I'm like, you have no idea.
You have no idea, and you can see them coming. When
Until the spring hits in Alaska and you're trying to camp out and you can hear them bastards hitting the side of the tent.
when it falls out and it starts to get warm, you just see clouds. Like da, 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 mosquitoes.
And they are big. I think I don't know who got it for me, but a long time ago I used to have a shirt that said Alaska state bird and it was just a mosquito.
I sent it to you.
Yeah. Hungar is up there jumping off of roofs into the freaking snowpacks and shit. But yeah, moose are not to be messed with. We can leave that on that.
And brown bear during salmon season, you can go down to the river, go fishing and whatnot, and see bear, and not even worry about it because they're just busy eating salmon skin and heads. They don't even eat the whole body. They just tear the skin off, eat the brain, and leave the rest for other things.
Well, because they don't care about lean protein.
No, they want the fat.
They
They're
want all that
stored up.
fat.
Yeah, they want that
And
high.
that fat is in the brains and the skin.
That's good. Yeah.
And then if you catch salmon, you can go down to the local tribe. There's always going to be one. And you can trade them your fresh salmon for
How much was
smoked
that?
salmon.
Ah, cool.
Because the local tribe guys will come up and they'll set up like a little smoking station. I mean, they always basically it's like you're going to get 50% of whatever you gave them back.
Well, that's fair if they're going through the trouble for you. That's
yeah,
a fair deal.
it's still like if you don't want to go home and gut and scale a bunch of salmons or whatever you're going to do, you can just get it already smoked, wrapped in butcher paper. Those guys will take it right off your hand. Hungar used to date one of them. I don't know what tribe she was in, but
I don't remember what tribe she was in. She was cute though.
probably Kikuk or something like that.
And you see her uncle was Willie Malukatut,
Willie Malukatut.
floating down 4th Street in his
Down in
broken
his
down
canoe.
kayak, eating a muck-tuck sandwich.
Yep, muck tuck sandwich and muck tuck is smoked quail fat,
Oof.
and they make it into cubes about yay big. And then when they're out doing whatever, they'll just be gnawing on that shit.
Spam of the sea.
High calorie, keep you warm, man.
High calorie, and believe it or not, it's where they get like 99% of their vitamin C.
And it,
Because for some reason, whale skin has a shit ton of vitamin C, like more than an orange.
and when you're out freezing to death at like negative 30-degree temperatures, you want all the calories you can get.
Oh yeah, those guys eat like 10,000 calories a day, and about 8,000 of it is straight lard, just fat. You know what I mean? But that's what they need to do to keep a core temperature high enough to not just die. But people can say they're indigenous, this and that. No, they're Asians. Once you've met them and you see them and you hear them talking, you're like, yeah, you're Asian.
They're mostly they mostly remind me of Mongolians, which makes sense because they cross over Siberia
They cross over to Siberia and hang out with the Siberians all the time.
Yeah.
They're like interrelated and stuff like that. It is true, though, that story about Eskimos letting you knock up their women, that's actually true.
Oh yeah,
They hate
Well, they
me
probably
called
have
Eskimo, though.
really limited gene pool because there's probably not a lot of them.
that's the thing. You
But don't call them Eskimo, call them Inuit or Athabascan.
Yeah, when did that become bad?
I don't know. Back when I was in Alaska, it was Eskimo.
I think people got mad because everyone was just calling every native an Eskimo.
Oh, okay.
And dude, if you start in Anchorage and drive 100 miles north, you will encounter 20 tribes. Kikkuks and freaking.
You start in Anchorage and you drive. You start in Anchorage and you drive 5 miles north. You're gonna come up across 20 tribes.
Well, especially if you drive to the poor part of town where all the trucks are on freaking blocks and shit, you'll encounter some tribes there too.
Yep. Not off 4th Street.
Yeah.
You see them with their broken down kayaks.
Yeah, man. But yeah, they're nuts too, man.
And don't get me wrong, I love the native ladies and the native people. I've dated quite a few from different tribes, and I've always been welcome on all the reservations I ever went to because I'm that crazy white guy that everybody loves.
Yeah. It's like the thing you got to know if you're in Dakota. If you're a white dude, you can go on the res and date one of those Lakota Sioux women. It's fine. Don't be black. You will find out what actual racism is really quick. And it's so fun. I always laugh when I'm watching TV and you got these people on there and they're always talking about black and brown and indigenous people need to stick together. And I'm like, you ain't ever been on the reservation, buddy. Because had you ever been on a reservation, you would know. those so-called indigenous people you're talking about, they hate your guts. They make, like, I had never heard so many racist jokes ever than when I used to hang out with Donnie Rainbird. And that's all he did is tell racist jokes. And it was specifically
I never
about
heard.
black people. That dude hated them. And I'd always be like,
I spent
did a black dude do something to you, Donnie? What happened? He'd be like, no, I just hate him.
when I was in North
Apparently
Dakota.
his dad,
I was dating a little.
it was a family tradition for them to hate.
When I was in North Dakota, I was dating a little Dakota Sioux chick, and for Christmas we went out to the res, and
Which is basically
her
a trailer
mother-
park with a bunch of trucks on blocks in the front yard.
so her mother didn't want us staying in the same house, so they had me. Well, because
Oh, because
You
they
know.
didn't want you
So
knocking
they
your
had-
daughter up?
yeah, so they had me stay at one of her cousin's house. Never met the guy. He brought me in, treated me like I was family. It was one of the better Christmases away from home I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I get along with.
Yeah, you get along with everybody. But yeah, I tell you what, those Lakota Sioux, they're a wild bunch. They got their own little mafia up there.
Well, I'm going to bounce out and go check my barbecue.
Yeah.
I wanted to come on and say
I
hi
love
and I
you
love
too.
you.
Always have.
I've been watching Cyberpunk Edge Runners, so I'm downloading my
Did you hear
Cyberpunk
me?
game.
You
What?
said you love me. I said, I love you too. Always have.
Always have
Right.
basketball.
Basketball or Braveheart.
Braveheart.
Yeah, it's both.
Satya got some miniatures from Black Scorpion.
I've never heard of Black Scorpion, Satya. I'll have to look at them.
You guys have a good one. Peace, love, and chicken. You like my new Nicolas Cage? picture?
I've had that for like 20 years, dude.
Yeah, but come on. You're talking about rabbits.
That is an
That's a
angry
scary
rabbit.
ass
Rascally Wabbit.
There's nothing rascally about that thing. It's angry.
Let her hung up.
There's a meme.
Oh,
There's
Lord.
a meme, and it's got like the white rabbit from
The Holy
freaking
Grail thing or Monty Python.
Monty Python, and one of the players is like, "So what do we see?" And the DM's like, "You see before you a small furry white rabbit." And the player's like, "Well, I'm going to walk up to it and try to use my animal friendship." And the DM's like, "Roll for initiative." It's like, yeah, that rabbit's getting ready to kill you guys, but
But if it was me and I was the DM, I'd be like, okay, does a 21 hit?
yeah, right.
It's like it gets a surprise on you.
I remember Rollmaster had the killer rabbit in their Monsters and Treasures book, and it was on every single encounter table. No matter where you were, you could run into the killer rabbit. It could be like at the bottom of the ocean. There'll be a killer rabbit. It's
Well, like we were talking about earlier, the British were very concerned about humanoid rabbits cutting people's heads off. I don't know why. Oh, and also apparently these humanoid rabbits rode snails around. You see that in a lot of medieval English and French artwork, like a humanoid rabbit with sword riding a snail and shit. It's like, the hell are these people smoking, man? That's what I'd like to know.
My favorite Gamma World character.
The good
was the
stuff.
Hoop.
Oh, the hoops.
Yeah, I played a hoop in Gamma World. Those were awesome. I love the turn metal to rubber ability. I
Yeah,
pissed so
your
many
DM
people off at that.
Your DM was
You know what?
Very
You make
lax.
it sound like in Gamma World, you could play this one anime character I've seen where he like turns things into basically a trampoline you could bounce off of.
Yeah, I don't know about that because there's so many versions of Gamma World, but first and second, I know about that hoop.
Yeah, those are the
And
only
it's
two
all
I have.
fun and games until Hoop runs up and turns your two-handed sword into a rubber. or if you're wearing metal armor or something, and then it's not as fun. Plus, hoops tend to run in packs, like mobs of them, and they also tend to have at least one artifact amongst them. So you're going to run into a bunch of rabbits. One of them might have an assault rifle or some shit, and they're turning your shit into rubber. And they hate you. That's the other thing that should be mentioned.
Yeah, they're ill-tempered creatures, the hoops.
Yeah, hoops pretty much hate everything that ain't a hoop. But they're not as bad as the batters, though.
The batters
Which
are
the
awful. The
mutated
arcs,
badgers.
the badger ones.
Yeah, the batter.
ones.
It actively hates every other thing. So, yeah. Good luck with that. And they're at about a medieval technology level, so they're all wearing like chainmail and carrying maces, and the leaders might have some artifacts, like auto pistols or whatever. And it's just like, batters. But that's a good game. Good game.
Gonzo game, but very fun.
Yeah, pretty gonzo, but very fun. Especially, if you like OD&D or basic D&D and you just want to have a good time, that's a good game, And you can play it serious if you want. It can be played serious, but that just depends on the group, right? Because you can play it where like the adventurers are all like members of a village that's slowly dying because, you don't have any water purification or some shit like that. So you got to go out into the twisted wilderness to try and find stuff. And of course, everything in the Gamma world wants you dead.
Gamma World came out with a lot of really good modules, I remember.
Like Feast at Fargo, Legion of Gold.
Famine in Fargo is one of my favorites since I started working at the chicken plant.
Yeah, because chicken. Yeah.
I want to revisit Famine in Fargo one day.
I think that whole
and I love that they were all rednecks. The chickens were all fucking rednecks. That was so awesome to keep the baseball caps.
Yeah.
Drinking beer.
Isn't Fargo in like North Dakota?
I don't remember. It's been so long. But it's a lot of them that there are actual places like Golden Legion's like somewhere in Michigan. It's like right on Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
That was an awesome module because it's almost like a campaign. Because there's so much in there.
Satya's buying miniatures I've never heard of. Meanwhile, I'm buying miniatures from Poland because Poland has decided for some reason they're going to make miniatures, like lots of them. So,
good for Poland.
Hell, I bought a bunch of miniatures from Ukraine, and they're in the middle of a war. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And,
what's the company name that makes them in Ukraine?
What is the company name?
Because I remember
the lady who writes me the thank you notes is named like Titania or something like that.
Because I remember listening it was probably a couple months old now, but it was one of the Black Pants Legion podcasts. They were talking to some guys who were making miniatures in Ukraine. So I wonder if it's the same bunch.
It may be, actually. Tortuga Bay. That's the name of the company, Tortuga Bay.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and listen to the podcast, but I bet it's probably the same people.
Because a big problem with playing 30K is the Mark III, Mark IV Space Marines are really tiny compared to the Mark VIs that they released more recently. And Tortuga Bay sells the bodies for the Mark, actually 2 and up.
Yeah.
that are the right scale.
Yeah, the
And
Mark
since
Sixes.
you already got the arms and the shoulder pads and the heads, which fit perfectly, and then you paint them up. Like when I hold up my Blood Angels, half the time those are Tortuga Bay, but you would never know because they're just wearing Mark III iron armor with, their bolter and their weird medieval looking helmet.
The Mark 6 armor is the one that had the beak, like from the
Yeah,
original
Mark
game,
6
right?
is the beakies. They came out toward the middle end of the heresy. And then that type of armor was in use for, I don't know, like
Yeah, that was when the
10,000
game
years.
first came out. I have. Where are you?
Yeah, the beakies were in use for like 10,000 years, and then they came out with the ones that kind of look like Darth Vader.
Yeah, I have the original first edition Rogue Trader.
Look at that.
Yeah, never actually played this, but yeah, all
it's
the helmets
almost
for the beakies.
unplayable.
The thing is falling apart. Like almost every page is loose at this point. But
that's what I would say. It's basically unplayable, but it's fun as hell to read.
Yeah, it's the background is what I got into.
Just like everything in there is crazy. You've got like the Crimson Fist. That's Pedro Cantor's Legion on the front. On the inside, you've got the Flesh Tearers running around. I mean, I remember that book. So check it out. But yeah, like I said, that drawer down here that I keep all my Blood Angels in and wherever else I keep my Blood Angels, if it's in Mark III or Mark IV armor, the body is made in Ukraine. Because I hated the stumpy little bodies, I
remember seeing some of the minis were like tiny little guys.
Yes. That's definitely a thing with Games Workshop is miniature inflation with the size. Like when they very first come out, they were actually pretty small. And they just kept freaking making them, like every set of Space Marines was a little bigger. But then they would turn around and release like Metal Imperial Guard Regiment, and the Imperial Guardsmen would be bigger than the Space Marines. And so they were constantly, like when the Catachan Jungle Fighters originally came out, they're the big muscled Rambo guys that are all just wearing t-shirts and freaking bandanas, right? Those dudes literally towered over Space Marines. Like if you had somebody playing old school beakies and you were playing Imperial Guard, those freaking things were just like massive. Their arms are like 40-inch biceps. They look like Ogren except smaller. But I had that, but I got rid of it, and I accidentally kept the second edition rulebook, but I got rid of everything having to do with. I went through a period where every now and then I would just get rid of all my 40K stuff, like about every 5 years. Because I would get pissy and decide this edition of rules suck. I'm never playing this game again. And then I'd call a bro of mine who was a teacher at the local high school, and I'd be like, I want to sell my stuff. And he would look at it and be like, I'll give you X amount of hundreds of bucks. And I'd be like, cool. And then I'd be walking out there with, $200 or $300 in my pocket, and he'd have like thousands of dollars worth of, shit. And I must have did that like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. Hell, I recently sold off all of my Imperial Guard tanks, some of my Primaris tanks, my Knights, an Orc Gargant.
Yeah, the only Warhammer stuff I've never played any of the tabletop games. I've only ever played the video games.
Yeah,
I really loved the from the fantasy one. These came out. I remember I played them both on the original PlayStation. About the mercenary troop, the Grudgebringers.
yeah.
Those were great games. Those were amazingly.
They
fun
were hard
games.
though, because if you had a bad battle,
it could screw you for the entire campaign.
Reinforcements.
Yeah, you get to the point where you couldn't continue anymore. You were just hosed.
Yeah, it's like I've got like 10 dudes. I guess it's time to retire, right? Yeah, but I mean, I've ranted about the 40K issue too. Like the book he held up, Rogue Trader, is literally full of designs and bullshit, how to make your own shit and whatever. And now they're like, oh, if there's even so much as one 3D printed part on a miniature, you can't use it in a tournament.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
there was a place in St. Augustine. There was a Warhammer shop that got closed down. It just shows how petty Games Workshop is. They got like a surprise inspection, and he was letting people play a tournament game apparently with some like non-approved shit.
proxies and shit.
They pulled his license. They closed his score down over that.
Here's how petty Games Workshop is. And I know this because I know the owner of Coliseum Comics. See, look at me, name dropping. He can't put any other miniatures on his shelf next to Games Workshop. So, like, for a minute there, I was trying to get him to carry Mantic miniatures, but he would risk losing his Games Workshop contract, basically.
Yeah, it's the same shit fucking Microsoft used to pull back in like when like Electronic Boutique and stuff were a thing, like all those like computer game stores like in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
They were like, no, you it's got to be at least 90% our stuff or we won't sell to you.
These guys are extra dicks too, because like when Age of Darkness came out, which was the 30K box set that had all the crazy shit in it, right? I asked Phil to order me a box, right? He returned my email and said that Games Workshop says that they're not giving stores boxes unless you order 4. And this box set was $300+. So I'm like, well, maybe someone else wants it besides me. And we looked around. He ended up selling 3 boxes. And 2 of them went to me. Well, Hungar and I.
It's amazing to me that company is like still around at this point with all their fuckery. Although I guess they're making a lot of money licensing shit.
Well, that's going to be the future of Games Workshop. It won't be the actual game.
Yeah.
They'll license that shit out, and you'll get movies and TV shows and Funko Pops. You already do. Praetor, it's like playing Conan and Stalker. So you've got barbarians running around Ukraine trying not to get sucked into alternate dimensions and shit. Stalker, that's a crazy game.
I should get back into that. Actually, I still have that. That's one of the few games I have that on. I have like 250 Steam games. I can only play a handful of them though, because I had to replace my awesome Alienware computer with this HP Potato.
Well, I mean, I played Dune on. I forget the Siege name, but so does Hungar and a couple of other guys. So that's pretty cool. Of course, I play. I am loyal to House Harkonnen.
Dirty Harkonnen.
Yeah, Fade Rotha calls me his degenerate killer when he sends me out to kill people. And I talked about this the other day. It's like, is he calling me a degenerate, or is he saying I killed degenerates? Because the one I'm okay, you know, this is my boy. I send him out to kill degenerates. I'm like, all right. So I picked these up the other day. I'll show them.
Yay, dice.
On the other side of the 6, it of course says
Marvel.
yes. Because the Marvel system uses 3 die 6 to do everything. And then the Marvel die determines like how good you do everything. So, like if you punch somebody, you multiply like your damage mods and stuff times whatever showed up on the Marvel die, and that's how much damage you do. But if it showed up as a Marvel, then that's double damage. And the other thing, it finally came in, which kind of aggravates me. I meant to order the core book. This is the multiverse role-playing game Spider-Verse. So I mean, now I've got all this. The there's literally a pig Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yeah, Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham.
I know Spider-Ham. Peter Porker.
Ghost Spider. So apparently this just talks about Spider-Man, which I've never been interested in, and adventures involving Spider-Man, which could be cool, I guess.
I did like the 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Let's see, though.
It's the best variant of
Oh my
Spider-Man that I
God,
like.
there's a
to me.
Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
I remember watching
Doctor Doom, but he's a duck.
the 60s Spider-Man I grew up on, so I'm partial to that because I like the voice.
90s Spider-Man was so fun, though.
Here's our boy.
Shocker! I will find you! I will chase you down to the ends of the earth!
Here is our boy, Cletus Cortland Cassidy.
Oh, yeah. They had to tone
Rank
him
4.
down for the cartoon.
His melee is 7. His ego and logic are 1, so not great. Powers: disguise, protection from environmental attacks, healing factor, mighty 2. And he's really good with melee weapons, and he's got a shit ton of spider powers.
Yep.
Wall
Carnage.
crawling, web casting, web grabbing. Like, that's one thing these books do, is they give you like these full write-ups of the characters. And even though I've only ever watched Marvel cartoons and I pretty much don't collect comic books because they're gay, I do like looking at the stats. Like they got the lizard. I wonder which. Oh no, that would be that. See, here's the big problem I have with this thing, right? Miles Morales, nobody gives a shit. Spider-Woman again. There's a lot of Spider-Women. Teresa Parker, Venom, my boy. If I had any complaint about this, and it's like the stupidest complaint ever, it's that there's no DC hero book. You know what I mean? Because it's Marvel.
Yeah. It's
But
made by
the problem
Marvel.
is, I don't give a shit. I want to look up like Lobo. What are the stats on Lobo? You know what I mean? What are the stats on the comedian? What are the stats on Frick? You name it.
Static.
Yeah. You still playing the Dune MMO. I'm running it. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be running it. As a matter of fact, this just came in. It is the Dune Adventures in the Imperium Masters of Dune. And it basically just goes into detail with all the NPCs.
I think Such was asking about the video game.
No, the Dune MMO. Yeah, I just actually, that's what I was doing before I decided to come in here. But it adds some of the minor houses and stuff like that. And, gives you some scenarios and stuff. And then, of course, it comes with a code to get the free PDF. And these are in the box set, but I need to sleeve them. They're Aztec cards. And so basically, they're like weapon cards from Conan. But the MMO, yeah, I've got a giant Harkonnen pyramid type house with like a big gate that's a pentashield. that I can actually fly my ornithopter into and land. And me and Hungar sometimes, and my other brother Warren and whatever, we run around and do shit. What is up? How you doing, Grim? I am painting a few figures. So, like, if I didn't shake so bad, you guys could actually see these guys. But I gave him orange hair.
Who's that?
But yeah, let me see. I've been working on getting these guys done too. Like I need to do that front cell, but you can see the crew are pretty much there. This is, of course, a Macedonian ship. You can tell by the tail. And in this game, typically a fleet will be 3 or 4 of these. And if you want to get really crazy, you can add smaller ships like this one. This is like the ship Jason and the Argonaut would have been on. Whereas those other ones, those are like the ships Themistocles was using to fight the Persians. Big triremes. And you can kind of tell on these ships what faction they are by the front. So that bullhead on the front of this guy means that this ship is from Crete. So the Minoan civilization or whatever. And I've also got like this with the owl. And the owl is Athens.
Oh, do you print these up?
Yeah, I did. There's a thing where you can get the STLs of these things, and then they give you the rules for the game for free.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
But yeah, depending on, you'll notice like how there's just open squares there because you can make whatever kind of squares you want, like Marines, hoplites, pirates, archers, whatever. And so the basic ship costs an amount, and then whatever you put on it costs an amount, and that's the total, right? You can customize your ships. And then for your normal average game, if you go really cheap, you might be able to get 4 big ships. But if you start throwing good shit on it, you're going to probably get 3. But then whatever points you have left over, you can always grab a couple of the little ones. The little ones are a little bit more maneuverable. They are not faster. And if they get rammed, they're basically done. I mean, one of these big ships will run right through it. But there's things on here where, like, if you get rammed, depending on the crew members you have on your ship and their training, you can try to counterboard the ship that rammed you. So they run into you, right? And then instead of just standing around with a thumb in your bum, you charge across and start killing their guys and take their ship. You know what I mean? Because your ship's going down. Forget about it. If you get rammed broadside, you're going to the bomb probably. But yes, Satya, yes. The short answer is yes. I am still playing and loving it. I've got, I guess, 500 or 600 hours on that game. Don't know shit. My bro, he uses like not Hungar, but my other bro, Dune Runner. He uses like online help things like wikis and shit. So he knows where everything is. So he's way ahead of me, but I don't care. I'm not going to give in to that. I'm just going to keep playing the game and having fun, man. And especially lately because the Landsrad put a bounty out for Sandfly Bandits. And hell, I killed them things for free anyway. So you're going to pay me to do something I just do for free all the time? Yeah, I'm about it. So but my character is a Genzaki swordmaster or some shit.
Yeah, Ginaz, I think it is.
Ganaz swordmaster. Yeah, I think you're right.
Or Ginza. I can't remember.
Yeah. Like one of the missions I had was the guy I wanted to teach me more about being a swordmaster. Somebody had like beat his ass, killed his house, and pulled his eyeballs out.
Ew.
So I had to go on this whole adventure line that ended with me trading a Talaxu guy like a
for new
bunch of
eyes.
shit for brand new eyes, and then go back to Harko Village and give the swordmaster new eyes. At which point he's like, "Yeah, of course I'll train you." And I'm like, "Well, thank you, asshole." You know? One thing I didn't actually know, because I have not read all the Dune books, but now I know because of the MMO. Did you know that the Bene Talaxu, for some reason, they all have pointed teeth?
I don't remember that one. Were there? Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, they all have pointed teeth, which is why in the Dune game, when you encounter them, they're always wearing like this wrap around the lower part of their face, like a head wrap, because apparently their natural appearance is very off-putting to non-Bene Talaxu guys, you know, because you're basically looking at this super pale, almost translucent skin guy with pointed teeth. You know, it's like they're just really, really weird is what it boils down to. They're really weird. And yeah, I had to do a whole thing. I had to go into the radioactive land and get a freaking mnemonic film from a wrecked starship and not die of radiation and bandits. And it was a pretty big quest. And then, I mean, I can't say inadvertently since I chose the path that I went on, but eventually I ran into Count Hasmer Finring.
Ah, cool.
And he enrolled me into a special program and gave me a book, the Book of Assassins. And basically, he kept sending me out on missions to kill people. And every time I went out on the mission, I had to kill them in a different way. And then return back and tell him about how I did it.
Sir Bear.
So like one guy I had to use Chomas poison. Then the next one I had to use Chamarki, which is when you poison food. And then the next one I had to use like a Garrote. You know, so there's all these guys I had to assassinate in different ways. All to basically not get killed by Count Hasmer Finring. Because, you know, that's once you join that club, you don't get to just leave. How you doing, Bear?
Just peachy.
Hey, man.
Yep. We were just answering Sacha's question about what's up in Dune.
Yes. I assume that's, yeah.
And I am painting some random starships and stuff.
Cool.
I don't know if I want to paint all of the miniatures that come in the Dune War on Arrakis game, because there's like 300 of them. And I'm not like,
Really?
yeah, I'm not totally into that. But the hell is? But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's been pretty good. How you doing?
I was taking a nap.
Yeah,
So
that's what.
kind of groggy and you know, short-tempered, so I got to have a cup of coffee and all that good shit. But you know, I'd come say hi, so I didn't miss you.
Beware of Bear.
Yeah, when I wake up, yeah, that's actually really good advice. Just, I
My
have
wife
friends,
and I was
I've had
watching.
friends, I've had roommates who thought fucking with me, and when I'm in this state was a good idea, They only ever had that thought once, and then that thought. I remember one time I walked out of my bedroom to go to the bathroom, and my buddy's girlfriend was there, and she walked up. She's a little Chinese girl, Elim, punky artist chick. She walks up and she grabs my stomach and she goes, "Buddha, tummy." And I just looked at her, and I guess the look on my face was more than nothing. My buddy just walked up and gently took her hands and went, "Sorry, so sorry," and just walked her away from me. Yeah, I don't wake up well. Anyway, so Dune.
You were all like, "Get in my belly."
No, I was more like, what is this small thing doing that makes me want to kill it?
Exactly.
I
And
will
then get in
destroy
my
it.
belly.
No, I'm not a cannibal. No.
Besides, they're full of MSG.
Oh,
Cannibalism, I mean, they're Chinese. Get Bear going right away.
I'm just, you know what? You guys do you. I'm just going to sit here and talk to me.
Well, I accidentally ordered the Spider-Verse book
Oh, yeah, I had that.
instead of the core book.
Oops.
So I'm pretty aggravated about that because, I'm not a super huge fan of Spider-Man on the best of days. And I've got this whole book that's just full of Spider-Man. I had no idea there were like 20 Spider-Girls.
Well, the good news is that when you do get around to running your game, that book's probably got it does. In fact, I have the book. Have a metric shit ton of really awesome villains because Spider-Man has probably one of the best rogues gallery.
Yeah, for Marvel, yeah, Spider-Man would be the best rogues gallery.
Well,
No,
I
I
am
mean in
pretty much
comics,
a fan
period.
of the
Tell me
Pink
who has a
Doctor Doom.
better rogues gallery in comics than Spider-Man. And if you say Batman, I'm just going to start laughing at you. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
has the
Spider-Man
best.
as an
He
enemy.
has the best cross section of villains of all type, all power levels. Like he's got a really good pile of stuff associated with him. It's really nice. So if you're running a canon game set in the Marvel universe or with Spider-Man stuff, you're set.
Yeah, you got Stiltman and you've got Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, you got everything from Kraven the Hunter to Venom. You know what I mean?
And then you've got Cassidy, aka Carnage,
Oh, that guy.
and his gang of not
Dr.
nice
Octavius.
I always liked the Lizard the best. I'm a
No,
fan
my
of the
favorite was
Lizard guys.
Dr. Octopus.
people.
Although
If
I
I
always thought
remember correctly, the Lizard was one of Peter Parker's like professors.
Kurt Connors is his teacher. Kurt Connors trying to regrow his arm.
And then he was trying to experiment on regeneration or something. And
Yeah, so he could regrow his arm. And you got Scorpion, who's amazing, Tarantula, Sandman.
hey, don't forget Electro.
No, Elektra's a Daredevil character.
Not Electra.
Oh,
Electro.
Electro.
Okay, Electro is the living reason why for Heroic I made power stunts based on your intelligence or your reason. Because if Electro took some fucking night classes on electromagnetism, he would learn that he's the most powerful fucking person in the Marvel universe because he could do fucking anything because everything works on electricity. But instead, I'm gonna ride the telephone line. See, I'm so clever, zap. Meanwhile, Magneto's over there figuring out ways to fuck with the iron in your blood. Jesus Christ.
I always like the memes when it's like me and the boys going out to do something. It's like the rhinoceros guy and Electro and some other.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hated the Rhino. He was the lamest character. I dress like a rhinoceros and hit things with my face.
It's like I just
That's
like
cool,
running
dude.
into walls. Like,
Okay.
wait,
Rhino
really?
the Clown-
There's
remember
no
the old,
tragic backstory or anything? No, I just like running into walls.
Do you remember the old 60s Spider-Man cartoon?
Oh yeah, I grew up on that.
Yeah.
Where
you're
Rhino
talking about
basically his entire plan is I'm going to steal all this gold to make a statue of myself that I'm going to keep in the subway where no one can see it. Why? Why are you
Because
doing
you
this,
just wanna.
Rhino? What's wrong with
Just wanna.
you? Who hurt,
Well, I
who hurt you,
appreciate
Rhino?
that
Who
it's
hurt
an
you?
aesthetic crime and not just
Yeah,
anything
there you
anyone.
go.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
That's
since
what I
Bear's
liked
here,
about all
we've
the tick
decided
villains.
to
Stop
put Arrakis
enabling his
on hold.
bullshit. So was that Vince? What?
I said, since Bear's here and we've decided to put Arrakis on hold and talk about Marvel,
Oh, I'll talk about Arrakis.
I think
I want to talk about Marvel.
my favorite superhero villain is probably Green Goblin.
Hmm.
In the Spider-Verse,
interesting.
he's got to be the best.
He's interesting.
I mean, he's flying around on like some kind of crazy Batwing looking thing, just throwing pumpkin bombs at people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some next level crazy shit, right?
Which
there.
one's better, the Norman or the Harry Osborn Green Goblin?
The dad. Because
Ah.
wasn't there another one called the Hobgoblin?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
also
that's
had the
different.
Hobgoblin.
Yeah, that's a different character completely. Yeah.
But I mean, still basically. And then, of course, you've got the doppelganger, which is the Spider-Man, but he's got like 6 arms.
There's a ton of that shit.
Yeah, it's like. But yeah,
Also
Green
the
Goblin
Chameleon.
is like just a super interesting villain for Spider-Man. Not my favorite villain of all time ever, but for Spider-Man, definitely. I think my favorite villain of all time is probably. Oh my God, it's hard. It's hard to choose. Probably those little 2-legged rat things that Star-Lord's kicking around in the beginning of the movie. I absolutely just loved that. And then Redbone comes on.
Ever blows your hair back, man.
Yeah, and you know he's just walking around, just kicking the shit out of these things. Down, 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 down. It's like, what am I watching? When that came out, my mom had to tell me to watch it.
Really?
Because I was like, I am sick and tired of Marvel movies. I am not watching any more Marvel. It can kiss my ass, whatever. You
Well, you
know,
got to
and my
look
mom
back.
watched that movie and she's like, you need to watch this movie. And I'm like, I don't care. It's Marvel. And she's like, just trust me. So I'm like, fine. And I put it on and then I watch it like 6 more times in a row over the course of like a week, you know, because I was just like, holy shit, that's actually really good. Like probably one of the best Marvel movies ever made. That one and Deadpool. That is my unpopular opinion.
Yeah, Deadpool's fun.
I think that I like the kind of campy, goofy kind of, you know, with the witty repertoire and all that. And you get that with Star-Lord. And you get that with Deadpool.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm not going to agree with you on that. You get that with Deadpool. I think Deadpool is childish. I think it's fucking goofy. I think it's primarily it's the kind of humor that is fine in small doses, but there are times where it's just like, for fuck's sake, can you not make everything into a fucking idiot joke, please? Like that's why Ryan Reynolds was perfect to play him, because Ryan Reynolds can't do serious, you know.
Right. I don't
So I
know.
get tired of that
I got
kind
to
of humor.
admit, I laughed my ass off when they got into the wreck in the cab, and it turned out Depender had the other guy in the trunk.
Okay, so the question would be this: do you like visual humor, like sight gags?
Yeah, Three
There you go.
Stooges.
And that's where you and I will differ on humor. I can't stand sight gags, like pratfalls and shit like that. I just find them like, you know, why don't you just jingle your fucking keys in front of people?
Mel Brooks.
No,
Three Stooges.
Mel Brooks is witty. Mel Brooks puts an effort into his comedy to think a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm talking like just for laughs gags, you know, like that shit where you're just like, this is not funny. This is just goofy, childish humor. But that's me. It's my personal thing. I don't fault people for liking it. I just don't care for it.
I don't like the fourth wall stuff. That bothers me.
Oh, and
He can't help that.
Deadpool.
And it's actually kind of a curse on him. Deadpool is the only one in the Marvel universe that knows he's a comic character. Like, knows for sure he's a comic character. Which makes every decision he makes after that kind of like, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, nothing actually matters. I'm a comic character. I'm not even real. But yeah, I get it, but
He needs to
you
take
reminded me
Conan
of
to
one of
the
my
place.
most favorite comedic moments in any movie. And it's when Gregory Hines is dancing in History of the World. And
That's
the
the
one guy's like,
Ethiopian
"Where are you
Shim
from?" He's like,
Sham.
"Ethiopia." "Oh, yeah? We're about 152nd Street."
Yeah.
Some shit like that. and he's up there doing the Shim Sham.
Yep.
That's the Ethiopian Shim Sham. Because he's trying to convince him not to, send him to the lions.
See, Gregory Hines.
At
is a
first he's
perfect
like,
example.
"You can't send me to the lions. I'm Jewish." And the Roman walks up and poses, looks in there and is like, "To the lions."
He missed.
He missed. I jumped. Yeah. That shit was funny.
See, Gregory Hines is a perfect example of someone that could do comedy and serious.
Well, he was serious in White Knights.
That's specifically what I was going to mention is White Knights. So two of my favorite movies from the 80s are White Knights and Running Scared. And both of them have Gregory Hines in them. And both of them are completely like dichotomous to each other for their level of seriousness, right? You ever seen Running Scared? Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines as the cops from Chicago,
Mhm.
whose
remember
entire
that from-
goal in life is to get enough money to go open up a bar in Florida. That's all they want to do is open a bar in Florida. It's a fucking great film,
What up, William? How you doing, bro? I had to watch White Knights because my mom is a
Baryshnikov fan.
Baryshnikov fan. So yeah. So
Is he still alive?
No idea. I know
I
Gregory
don't know
Hines is.
because I don't keep up with Russian ballet people very often. But
85 was the year they made that movie. So it's Baryshnikov, Mikhail, and he is still alive. He's 77 years old.
Oh wow.
And he's been a citizen of Latvia since 2017.
oh, he moved to Latvia, did he?
Yeah, good for him.
That's okay.
Good for him, man.
That's strange because Latvians typically hate Russians really bad. Like really bad.
Jesus Christ. Fucking Gregory Hines was only 57 when he died?
Yeah, he died really young.
Oh, liver cancer. Ugh.
My sister died of that when she was 27.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, good things happen, bad things happen. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was inoperable because the cancer grew around one of the major arteries that lead through the liver.
Mm.
And the doctor was like, if we nick that, she'll be dead on the table, So they did all of the, chemicals and radiation and everything, hoping they could shrink it or something. But no.
So you were talking about Russia, right? To sort of, no offense, get off the death conversation. Obviously, we don't want to go too far down that morbid hole because it sucks.
Well, I mean, I'm not okay with it. I wish it didn't happen, but I mean, it's been like 30 years, so.
Yeah, but even then, it's just just talking about something less deathy. I don't know if I haven't told you about this, but I have my other channel where I do my music stuff, right?
Yes.
My music stuff. And I put up some full albums, and there's this one album called Blackbird, which is like, I made it, it's like Southwest native rock. And then there's another one called Bayou Saints, which is like fucking swamp rock from Louisiana, Delta blues type stuff.
Nice.
So the Blackbird album now has almost 1,300 views. And the Bayou Saints one has 460 right now. I went and I looked at the analytics. The majority of the views are Russian and Ukrainian on both of those.
Well, as sad
so
as
weird.
it is, those soldiers, man, they got to do something when they're not actively
I
trying
don't think
to
it's all soldiers, man. I don't think it's a bunch of soldiers. I just think I just find it interesting that fucking Russia and Ukraine are the highest viewers I have on that. Where on my Bear Gen X channel, North Americans.
For the longest time, Russians were the number 2 for this channel.
Wow.
Yeah, it was America, Russia, Canada, and then England after that. and Vietnam was always top 10. Sometimes it'd be top 5. Sometimes, it just depends. I don't know.
Actually, I should correct that. The Swamp Rock one is Brazil is my highest viewership, and the Southwest Rock is Russia. So strange.
That is, yeah. I don't even know how to. That's definitely something.
Yeah.
Hines was also good in Wolfen. Yes. Well, Gregory Hines was just a great all-around actor. He could pretty much play about anything.
Yeah.
And he was a classically trained dancer. So if you needed him to play, tap dance, soft shoe, whatever it was, the dude was trained for that too. And also he just had such a great film presence. You know what I mean? That was the Gregory Hines thing. That's why, in my opinion, he kind of like steals the show in History of the World.
Yeah.
It almost feels like he has all the best lines. But it's possible that Mel Brooks wrote it that way on purpose too. Because, Mel Brooks wanted Gregory Hines to have all the best lines. It's like
there was a time when actors had to be able to do shitloads of stuff. They were expected to have like all manner of skills. Now it's just like whatever.
Yeah, there was a time when some of the actors you were watching on the silver screen had ran up the beach at Normandy, and then came home and become actors. Like,
yeah, and there was a time when the film and TV writers had fought, at Iwo Jima.
Right.
And there was a time when they had lives before they became celebrities, before they got into the film industry. They actually had something to draw upon, to write about. Now they're fucking diversity hired kids out of fucking UCLA's film writing class, and they sit around in a fucking writer's room huffing each other's farts, destroying Star Trek. Good for them.
Yeah, good
The fucking guy who created Star Trek, crashed a plane in the fucking desert and walked the passengers to safety, and then made Star Trek because he realized the unity of humanity was really important in a really good way. But that's okay. His shit doesn't matter because now these fucking kids know better, even though they've done nothing with their fucking lives. I am angry. I'm going to stop.
You're not wrong, though. You might be angry, but you're not wrong. Yeah. I mean, Humphrey Bogart had done shit tons of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I liked the best, and I know you and I have talked about this. I liked the studio setup.
I love the studio setup.
Where
The
if you
studio
got
setup is
hired to
great.
do something for a studio, they owned your ass. If you were out there talking shit to the media or anything like that, you'd be done.
But there was also the benefit of the studio system. The studio system benefited working actors because basically, let's say Doc was an actor, right? And he was a day player. It's what they called us, day players.
Right.
You come in, you work for a day or two, and then you go home. That's it. Well, Doc signs a contract with Universal, and Universal guarantees him, we're going to use you in 8 films this year. You're going to be a day player in 8 films. And that he knows he can take care of his family for the year based on the money he's going to make off those 8 films that he gets to work in. So all those actors you saw that were like cops and, priests and, newspaper guys or whatever in those old films were all taking care of their family and making enough money to live on because they would sign contracts in the day player system. The problem is the stars were the ones who were stuck in contracts they didn't like, and they wanted to go to other because other film companies would pay them more to work for them. So that's why they destroyed the fucking studio system through their agents.
Yeah, I know it was a thing to trade stars back and forth.
Yeah, they eventually they just said fuck it, and they stopped doing that. The idea of contracted studio workers, right? So as a result, so that these fucking rich pricks could get a little more richer, the idea of a working actor was destroyed in Hollywood.
Well, I mean, it's hilarious if you
the
look
American
up,
fucking dream.
If you look up, hey, you know what the comedian said?
It came true.
It came true.
I wonder if somebody could set up something like that again.
No one would set up something like that again because you'd never be able to get any celebrity names to work for you. So unless you're making horror films, you would never be able to make anything else to be distributed because here's how the distribution system for films works, right? I could show up to the film distribution summit. I go, hi, I've got this movie called I don't know, Dragon Fucker Jones. It's a comedy about a knight who's in love with a dragon, but he's actually a cool, hip black guy from 1980s America who's traveled through time. They go, great, who's your star? Well, we're going to go with an unknown. We're not interested. Thanks anyway. And so no one will buy it for distribution because they can't predetermine how much money they're going to make. We go, oh, we've got Eddie Murphy. They go, oh, well, Eddie Murphy's worth this much money in Europe. He's worth this much money in Japan. He's worth this much money in Korea. He's worth this much money in South
they figure
America.
out the average.
Okay, so based on all of that, we'll give you this much money for the rights in these territories.
Right.
And that's how it works. The only genre of film that does not happen is horror, because horror makes money everywhere. People don't care. People don't go see horror films for stars. They go see horror films for horror, right?
A perfect example is I have no idea who Arthur is.
Who?
Arthur. He is just a really creepy clown.
Oh, that fucking what's that thing called? Yeah, the black and white
Terrorizer
clown.
or whatever.
Terrifier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a clown in black and white makeup running around brutally murdering everyone.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the actor is.
But
But I know it was filmed with a budget of tens of dollars.
Yes, absolutely.
And the return on it has been massive.
Yes. And
They've
if you
got like a
actually
third or
watch,
fourth one now.
yeah, but if you actually watch them, they're not that good. They're not that well made. The acting's not that great in them, but the gore and violence is
Like when he
fucking
cuts
intense.
the dude in half from the butt up with a chainsaw.
Exactly.
That's some crazy shit.
And that's what people go see these movies for.
And it's like, what the F is Arthur even doing here?
They're not going to see the movie because you know
Art.
Brad Pitt's in it. They're going to go see it because the guy's getting cut in half from his asshole to his appetite.
In a shower.
Right? So that's it. So you could never do a studio system anymore because you wouldn't be able to sell your fucking movies.
And apparently he got killed, but then some demon or other brought him back.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Because, you know. Oh, that would be the battle, wouldn't it?
What if you had
Myers
like your
versus
own
Art.
like online system where it was just your stuff?
Yeah, that's you can make enough money. Like you guys got to understand, you need money to do this.
I
right?
like money.
So I'm going to make my own streaming service online. Really? How are you going to pay for the servers? How are you going to pay for this? How are you going to pay for that? Plus, you got to produce the material you're putting up on it. All right, so tens of millions of dollars later, you now have to convince people to subscribe to your shit.
Hold up, Bear. Hold up. You like money and sex?
I like money.
Dude, I think we're becoming best friends. You know, the original name of
Welcome
that
to
film
Costco.
was,
I
like,
love you.
really big. And
What?
it was-
Sorry?
It was like the future of America, and it was spelled phonetically.
Yeah.
And the studio fucking hated it. And that's why Idiocracy barely got any promotion at all, because the studio that put it out absolutely hated that movie.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Yeah, welcome to Costco. I love you. I don't know why, but someone at the studio was just like, yeah, I hate this movie and everything about it.
Because they probably figured it was talking about them.
Well,
Like they gave
here's
them
this
like
thing that
no
happens. Look.
budget.
It's got over 20 years in the fucking film industry. I can tell you this right now. There's a class of being inside the film industry called producers, and that's from their assistants all the way up to the guys at the top of the chain, who all think they're the smartest fucking person in the room in any given room they're in. You understand?
Yeah.
So if they don't have a sense of humor, they don't get sarcasm, they're not good with wit, but poop jokes make them giggle like 12-year-olds.
Hey, I remember when Joe went to the movies and watched Ass, which went on to win 3 Academy Awards.
Yes.
Remember when he's giving this presidential speech and he's like, don't you guys want to watch movies where you care about the ass and where it's been and what it's going to do? And all this shit. It's like, it's just like, okay.
Yeah, that's what's his name, the director of that, the guy who did King of the Hill, and
he
Office Space.
yeah, he couldn't catch a break on that movie.
No.
The studio just had it in for him for some reason. And yeah, so they did everything they could to try to wreck that movie.
Yeah, Mike Judge.
Mike Judge,
And
thank
what
you.
ended up happening, though, thankfully, is even though it did horribly in movie theaters, it become like a super cult classic. And so it ended up making all of its money on like Blu-ray or you know, CD sales or whatever. And you know, I was going to say hopefully the idiots learned, but they didn't, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I mean, these are the same people that effed over Firefly because they thought it was too friendly about Confederates. That's a true story. The people up in New York at Fox Media or whatever, they were completely unhappy that the Firefly story was so similar to a story about Confederates after the Civil War. So they did everything they could to kill it.
Yeah, they kept changing the time around. It was marketed as if it was a comedy.
They
I
played it
never
out of
saw it when it
order.
was on, but I saw like the trailers, the goofy space antics, and so I never watched it while it was on originally.
Yeah, they played the first like mini movie.
They
like-
played it out of order,
Like the
and it's
third
like
or
it
fourth
couldn't.
week.
Yeah, and it didn't make sense that way.
They were just, it was literally some guys that just absolutely hated that movie or show for some reason. And well, we know the reason, but it's wild to me because that was at a time when Joss whatever was at like the height of his superpowers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In the end, I think it was best for the show that it was a limited run because it probably couldn't have sustained that quality. For
Well,
any
no,
length
because
of
when you look
time.
at the movie Serenity, that's the entire series compacted into a 2-hour movie. And I'm just like, that was your whole series? Thank God it fucking ended. Because that was shit, you know? I hated that.
I'm going to tell you there's a problem that some people don't know about. Between Firefly and Serenity, there's like a comic book series
Yep.
that explains everything that happens between Firefly and Serenity.
Yeah.
99% of people don't know that and haven't read it. So
But it
they
doesn't
don't
matter.
know why the priest is on that world. They don't know how they know.
Yeah, no,
The little
I
Jewish
get
kid
you,
at the
but it
planet.
doesn't matter because he took an entire couple of seasons of TV and compressed them into a 2-hour fucking movie. So everything in Serenity moves at breakneck pace. We're introduced to characters that then get killed, and they play it like we're supposed to give a shit that these people get killed. We don't know them. We just fucking met them. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? And then his big reveal, the worst fucking thing. Spoiler alert. The Reavers are a result of chemical genetic experimentation. You took the greatest fucking concept presented in Firefly, which was some people looked into the fucking abyss and snapped, which is so cosmic horror. It's so like, that's great. They just lost their shit, you know?
I loved that idea. And in Firefly, that's how it was.
Yeah. And then in Serenity,
Because there was one episode where they captured or they saved a kid who had survived a Reaver attack on a ship. He is the only one that survived. And over the course of a week or two, he turned into a Reaver.
Yep.
And tried to kill them all. Because, yeah, I agree, Bear, with you. I need to stop agreeing.
It's the same problem. It's the same problem Farscape had, right? Farscape gets canceled, and then they get the green light for their telemovies, the Peacekeeper Wars and all that. So instead of writing a new and interesting thing, they fucking compress the last seasons that they never got to make into these telemovies. So everything just moves at breakneck speed. You don't have any time to get. It's bad. It's so fucking bad, and they hurt their franchises. And they just. This is the ego I'm talking about that you deal with in Hollywood. They so think their ideas are such hot shit.
I don't know if you can blame Hollywood though, because those.
Oh, I can. No, they weren't.
Farscape
was made in Australia, sir.
Huh?
Farscape was made in Australia.
Was Lex made in Canada?
Lex was made in Canada, but who fucking watched Lex? No one watched Lex. Yeah, one guy. Congratulations. There's like 5 of you. You can have a convention at a 7-Eleven.
I would occasionally catch an episode, and I'd be just like,
And if you're
what
really
the
lucky, the guy
fuck?
who's played the whatever on Lex
John.
is working at that 7-Eleven now.
Maroon.
Well done.
Brunin G. Oh.
It was shot in Halifax, Lex.
Supernatural's shot in Canada.
Vancouver. They know how to make stuff in Vancouver.
Damn. Okay, never mind then. I thought Farscape was shot in.
No, Farscape was shot in Australia, and we've actually had this conversation before, believe it or not.
Yeah, but you know, you can tell me things. Need to make a PF form fillable character sheet. Don't have Adobe, and apparently Affinity and Corel can't.
You can try
so
Open Office. I think you can do it in Open Office. I think.
don't do LibreOffice. It does
Not Libra.
crazy.
Open Office.
Oh, okay.
Libra is the other one. There's
Yeah.
both of them. They're both they split at one point.
Yeah, Soda's
Yeah,
free. It does a job.
I use
I'm
Open
lucky
Office.
the games that I've been running all come with free downloadable PDF character sheets that are form fillable. But then they always end up getting thrown away. Because after X amount of months of scratching shit out and improving characters and shit, it's like my players just finally be like, just give me a blank character sheet so I can rewrite this character. I mean, you know, but yeah, Bear, you've made some truly excellent points, and I respect the fact that you know more about the film industry than I ever cared to.
Me too, by the way. Even though I worked in it, I didn't care for it.
And it's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, when I look at the last 30 years of movies, the ones I consider like really good are not many.
No, it's
Not
mostly
many.
shit.
And most of the ones that I think are really good are going for that like 40s noir thing.
Yeah.
So I guess that gives them some gravitas, like LA Confidential. There's some gravitas there. You've got 2 amazing actors, and it's set in the 50s, I guess.
40s, late 40s.
And it's fucking might as well be an old, you know, what's his name movie? The guy from Casablanca. His name escapes me.
Yeah, no, that was a really good movie, but that's the 90s. Like, they stopped knowing how to make movies after the 90s for some reason. They lost their fucking minds in Hollywood. And I chalk it up.
And Aliens 1 were great, and then after that, it's like they just all started smoking crack.
Well, they got into that blockbuster thing where the movie has to make $1 billion or it's a failure.
Well, that was the 2000s mentality, like 2005 onwards, right? But the big problem is
the
that,
summer
again,
blockbuster.
No, the summer blockbuster started with Jaws in 1973.
Yep.
Man, come on. You know,
I know. I watched it when I was very young, and I'm still traumatized.
Yeah, I saw that in the drive-through.
Me too.
Like, I do not swim in any water unless I can see every bit of the water. So pools are A-okay, but anything else, no.
I was scared of my bedroom.
And when I was like 8 or 9, pools will have been right out too. You know, I might have stepped my feet into like one of those little kiddie pools, you know, but that'd have been it. Because, I mean, that movie effed me up. Another movie my mom traumatized me with when I was like 10 years old, I shit you not, was the miniseries, The Holocaust. That was nice. Yeah, that was nice. I'm like in first grade watching this miniseries. I think she was trying to like teach me not to hate Jews or something, which was kind of redundant since I was practicing Judaism at the time. But really all it taught me is humans are horrible. And I don't want to see that kind of shit. You know what I mean? That's what it taught me. It was like, this shit sucks.
All right. So instead of showing us the day after in class,
Oh,
they
God.
showed us Threads.
Threads. Yeah, the British, even
Yeah.
worse version of the
Yeah.
day after.
Yeah. So we didn't get to see the day after, but we got to see Threads. And like, I mean, we're like what, 12, 13 at the time?
Yeah. I would tell
Oh.
anyone who watches this live stream, don't watch Threads.
I never heard of
Oh,
that. I
my
remember
God.
watching the day after at
It's
school.
British. And
It's a British. It's a
freaking-
British version of the day after, and it is so dark. It's from
it is.
84. It's from 1984.
It's
So we've
just
been about
like-
15 when we saw it. 15, 16.
I mean, people are walking around with their faces bandaged up and bleeding through because the radiation's eating their skin off and shit. And it is truly like the British were like, fuck it. We're going all in on this. We are truly going to discuss the
They
audience.
get crazy. I remember when I was in Britain, if you bought a pack of cigarettes, because I was still smoking at the time, the entire thing was just like tumor pictures.
Yeah, it's
Like,
Canada too.
Jesus,
Same in
dude.
Canada. It's the same here. They're not allowed to
Yeah.
have colored packaging or anything like that because they, the children. Whenever I hear someone say we're doing this for the children, I know some fundamental right I've taken for granted all my life is about to go the fuck away.
Yep.
Oh, I saw this. It was a commercial they showed on British television. It was like a 5-minute commercial. They would use a whole block up for it. And it was actual guys. It was about texting and driving. It was about, it was the camera crew that showed up where there's some horrible crash with like 4 girls in a car because they were texting and driving. And they're just like showing the crew showing up. And this one girl, she's like hanging out the car. She's bleeding all over. They're like, get the head off her lap. Get the head off her. She's screaming like, who is it? And it just goes on and on. I was like, you put this on television? This is freaking horrifying.
Yeah, see, I'd rather they put that on television than make my cigarette packs brown and have pictures of fucking people's cancerous tumors on it. It's like, do you honestly think that's going to make people stop smoking? What fucking mindless sheep are you? You know what they do in Quebec? It's even better. In Quebec, when you go to the corner store, the dépanneur, the gas station, whatever, and you want to get at the cash, the cigarettes are behind the cash in cabinets that you cannot see into. Okay? Because in their mentality, this prevents people from doing impulse buys of cigarettes, because you all know we all started smoking the same way when we were smokers. You're like, let's see, I got my Doritos, I got my 2 liter of Coke, got some beef jerky. Oh, hey, cigarettes. I think I'm going to take up smoking today. Yeah, give me the you know what, the teal pack looks best. That looks really eye catching. Give me that pack, please. Like, what the fuck, man? This is why shit like this is living proof why the electoral fucking class, the political class, needs to be murdered from the top to the bottom. They need to be culled out of fucking society.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to regularly get sent out like at 8, 9, 10 years old for beer and cigarettes, and no one batted an eye.
I'm
My
from a small
grandpa
town.
would send me to the corner store with a note and the money.
Yep. My mom would
And-
send me out. And, the store was small town, 2,000 people. Everybody knew everybody, so they knew. But when I started smoking, they all knew my mother's brand. And so I remember I was like 13 or something like that. And I went and I was like, you give me a pack of Rothmans. And the lady just looks at me and she goes, you don't like Rothmans. And I'm like, no. She's like, what do you want? And I'm like, De Maurier. And she's like, okay. And she just sold me my pack of De Maurier. Because she knew I was pretending to buy for my mother at that point, so I would have cigarettes.
Yeah.
Then I went to
Weird times.
Michigan. No, Massachusetts. Thank you. I was in Massachusetts for a business trip, and I needed to get cigarettes. So I went to the fucking gas station near the hotel. I walk in. I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm 50. I'm not 50 at that time. I'm 48, 47, 48. And I'm like, yeah, just get a pack of Marlboro Golds, please. And she's like, yeah, do you have any ID? And I'm like, well, yeah. And I show her like my Canadian social insurance. She goes, no. Do you have like an American driver's license? I'm like, no. Well, I got to scan it. Well, I got my passport. Oh, those don't scan. I'm like, well, sell me the fucking cigarettes. I'm clearly not a 17-year-old kid yeah, I can't sell you them unless you scan the thing because I could get in trouble. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then there's a guy standing behind me, goes, here, hands her his driver's license, goes, sell them to me, man. Don't worry, here. And he just fucking swipes his driver's license so I can buy my fucking cigarettes. Because like, this is absurd, right? This is just absurd. A year later, 2 years later, I'm in fucking Michigan, Grand Rapids. Same thing. I go to the gas station and I'm like, look, I'm from Canada. I can't slide my car. There's nothing for me to scan. None of your stuff is good. She's like, it's okay. You look like an adult. I'll sell you the cigarettes. I'm like, you have a bigger brain than the last time I dealt with someone in the States. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I worked at a convenience store for a little bit. And I mean, you have to be smart about it. Like if a customer comes up with cigarettes or beer and you're at all not 100% sure, you card them.
Yes,
but if they're like 70 and they got beard and shit.
Yeah, I got into that one time with somebody in the store. And it was like, if I'm underage, I have progeria, which means this won't get me in time anyway.
Yeah. But the thing is, in the state of Florida, the Department of Commerce or whatever, whoever does it, they will go out of their way to try and trick you.
Yeah.
Like they'll send a super hot chick with like big tits and her cleavage hanging out, and she'll be like 1 day away from being of age. And if you don't really look at the ID, she'll give you ID. But if you don't really think in your head, because you'll see the last number, because that's what idiots do. They see that last number and they're like, oh, yeah, she's of age, No, she's like a day away. And then you sell her the stuff, and then the cops come in and take you to jail.
Yeah.
When I was working at a place in New Jersey, there's like only so many liquor licenses allocated to each county, and they would love to yank them because they could turn around and sell it again, and they were worth a lot of money. So they would constantly, if they caught underage kids drinking, they're like, we won't charge you, or even tell your parents if you go in and try to buy beer from these places.
Yeah.
Hoping they could grab the license and shit. It was so slimy.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. The same thing in Florida. It's all about money, right? They want to get the money. They're gonna get off the fines they can levy, right? This is the problem with for-profit crime fighting. It's like the same problem with for-profit healthcare. You got to find a way that you can get the same results without making it. How much money can we get doing this shit?
Yeah, I remember last time down here there was people were pissed because like right after tax time, they just started pulling people over all the time for like the whole next week. And people were so pissed, like, we know what you're fucking doing. This is scummy as shit.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. But you know who the worst for that is? Sweet Georgia on my hand.
Oh, there was this thing that happened in Hawaii where they shut down a highway during the come home rush hour, and then had cops marching down the road, fining people for talking on the phone and stop traffic. They specifically shut the highway down so they could do this. What jackass thing to do?
That's pretty next level. I got to admit. I mean, it's like, we are going to put you in a position to where when you call your wife to tell her you're going to be running late, we're going to give you a ticket.
One time when I was living in New Jersey, I'm driving home, and in New Jersey, you have to pay a toll basically every 15 minutes on the freaking turnpike. So I'm stopped in traffic for like 3 freaking hours. I go, oh, there must be some hellacious accident. I can't even pull over to get off the damn highway. And when I finally get up there, it turns out, no, the Easy Pass was down. So they forced everybody through one cash lane. And that's what was holding the whole thing up. And when I got to the thing, the woman was like crying because people were like throwing garbage at her and spitting on her because they're so pissed off. It's like,
how horrible would that be? To be
classy, New Jersey.
Yeah, that's New Jersey. I mean, the state that wants to throw everybody in jail. But the thing that I think of when you say that is like, what if you had no money?
You had to fill out a form.
Because like I don't often carry cash.
That would say if that happens, if you get forced through a toll in New Jersey and you don't have the exact, and you have to have exact change, you have to fill out a form and mail it in. It's this whole thing.
Oh my god, that just sounds absolutely like
That sounds like a nightmare.
yeah. See, at least they did a new thing in Florida. If you ran the tolls, they used to get really mad. Now they just send the bill to your house.
Yeah,
They're just like, F it. Here's the bill. Pay the $1.50 or whatever. It's just like,
I've only run into one toll ever in Florida. It was somewhere near Orlando.
well, the reason they start doing that is because somebody proved that sometimes the toll reader doesn't read people who actually have, the right stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then they want to fine that guy $100 and something, but it's like, F you. The reason, it's your fault. My shit works, so eventually it just wasn't worth all the class action lawsuit shit and everything. And people were just like, yeah, we'll just go with, we'll just go with the fucking pay your $1.50 and move on with your life. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, right? So, Bear.
What?
I've got these cultists, and they're like cultists of, I think, Yog Sothoth, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know who Yog Sothoth is, obviously, right?
Not personally, but yes, I've heard of him.
You've heard of him. What do you think? Should I paint these guys like all white with like maybe some red on the loincloth and stuff?
Sure, why not?
Because they look like Klansmen.
I don't
And
give a
that
fuck.
would be too cool.
I like that you asked me, but like, I don't give a fuck. Do what you want. It's your miniature.
Yeah, I was trying to get a reaction, but you were like, yeah, fuck you.
Well, I didn't even know what the reaction you were trying to get out of me was.
Don't do that. They'll
That's
look like
racist.
Klansmen.
You were going to paint them what colors?
White and then red for their like loincloth.
Is that something I don't know? Is that a
That's
a
the
reference
Klan
to some-
uniform from like back
Oh,
in the 20s
we don't
or
have them in Canada, so I have no fucking clue.
I'm sure you do because I've met one.
No, we might have them undercover, but we don't have them openly walking around like a bunch of idiots like you guys do.
Yeah, I've met one online multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't think
Bear.
he's a Klan member. I think he just like somebody stole his bike when he's young and he never got over it.
Oh no, that one's different. That one's not a Klan member. That was just a fucking moron.
Yeah,
There's
In
not really
actuality,
Klansmen
since-
anymore.
it's the temple of the whatever. They got painted yellow.
So what were you saying, Left?
There's not many Klansmen anymore. We don't really see them at all.
Yeah, I haven't. seen
Are
a
the meeting
Klan-
turnouts getting low there, Left of this? Is that what's going on?
I haven't seen.
Nobody
a Klan
just cares.
in forever. I mean,
You show
don't
up,
think
you
I've
bring
ever
your
seen
pigs
one
in a
in
blanket,
my
and there's like
lifetime.
4 guys, and they're all in their 80s. It's fucked up.
it is what it
Cool.
is. That's what it is. People just got tired of being in the Klan. I think.
It's like we got better stuff to do than getting around and doing stupid
You know,
stuff.
the racism thing is not working out really well when the Aryan Brotherhood will accept you as long as you're half white. Because that seems like some standards have been slacking here.
Well, here's another thing, James. Even black people have black fatigue.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about anything serious. I'm just joking about how the Aryan Brotherhood changed your recruiting thing so that
Yeah.
as long as one of your parents is white, you can join. So it's like, does that mean you're going to see some like black looking Aryan brothers?
Possibly.
That's just pretty crazy. But I mean, it goes to show you that racism is dead because the most racist group on the planet is open to biracial people. That's right. My Kim Jaw.
I gotta feed my cats. I'll be back.
Remember, the slow blade pierces the shield.
It's not about shooting first. It's about shooting being the most accurate.
But it depends. But yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'd rather be most accurate than just getting the shot first.
Hey, you know. I need to paint this Lobo. And I just realized somehow, did I do it more than once? No, I did it only one time. Somehow I painted all of them except for this one guy. The thing across the top of their helmet and their shoulder pads are supposed to be green. Yeah, Daryl, that was Hungar. Like Hungar had a beard and freaking like fro when he was like 9th grade. And being the weirdo that Hungar was, like he convinced the guy that took all the high school IDs to put his picture upside down on the ID. And he got like a big, like, you know, Dago green mohawk for picture day, because that was how my brother was, man. He just is just doing his thing out there. I kind of envied him because I was always the more quiet, laid back guy that didn't get involved unless I had to get involved. And Hungar was the social butterfly. I was definitely the introvert. Like for me, a wonderful weekend was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday playing D&D or Star Frontiers or something. Hungar, on the other hand, was out actually getting laid and stuff. And, you know, I'm not faulting him. I'm just saying that is the difference between me and my brother. Anyway, we're at 2 hours. I'm going to get out of here.
Okay.
I have things to do. But everybody who watched, thank you. Everybody who commented, thank you. Pray for me. I've still got the fantasy part of Doc's game to read. And that thing's like, it's big.
Doc, you monster.
They double as home self-defense weapons.
Yeah, right. Don't be an idiot, though. Tuck it into your shirt and think it's going to stop a 50 cal short, because.
No. 22 maybe.
But anyway, I will catch everyone later. Peace and love. And see ya.
See you guys later. Everybody have a good day.
Yep. Thanks for joining me, Doc. And Bear, my future.